So that's the story. You know, I was at home and I got this call from Dover, Delaware, and they wanted to know my ex's phone number at work. I said, wait a minute, now I've got a son in Iraq, and this is Dover, Delaware. You got to give me some information. They said, not right now. We'll get back with you this evening. So I went all day long thinking, you know, what's going on? I tried to call them back, but wasn't able to. I think it was about 4 or 5 to be home, you know, and then of course it was a colonel and another guy that showed up and walked up on my porch. They come walking up the steps and told me, you know. I was so mad. I don't think I've ever been that mad in my whole life. I cussed the Army. I cussed them for coming out there, and then I had to apologize for what they'd done. You know, he was 25 years old before he even joined the Army. I told him when he was in college, I said, son, eventually, you're gonna grow out of college. No. I said, yeah. I said, you're gonna grow out of college, and then what you gonna do? He didn't think he'd ever grow out of college. So eventually, his last year, he said, yeah, Daddy, you know, you're right. I'm too old for all those college kids. I'm trying to tell you, son. When he was in college, his sister was there at Mississippi State also. And every once in a while, he'd call me and say, hey, Pop, that's what he called me. Hey, Pop, can you put 100 or 2 in my checking account? I said, yeah, son, I'll do that. But what I did not know is he was calling his brother, calling his sister. He said that he was not a realist, but an opportunist. I was the opportunist. And so one evening, he'd clear up about $700, $800, you know. Wow. He was in the striker when, and it caught on fire. Everybody else got out. He couldn't get out. So there you go. That's about all I want to talk about, you know. He was my Jason.
There's 8,035 names on this wall. The men and women that are standing, that are raising their hand, just as they did when they made the pledge, mark my effing words, they would trade their position right now if it meant that your son and daughter were with us today. Do not ever forget the sacrifice, the commitment that they made. Thank you to those that have made it home, that I know that you're carrying the burdens of so many that did not.
I became involved with the organization back in 2004 when the invasion happened into Iraq. Some of my friends rode their motorcycles downtown to interrupt the protesters that were protesting the war. And unfortunately, the very next day, Illinois had their first casualty, a Marine, Captain Ryan Beaupre. He was a helicopter pilot, and his helicopter crashed. After his body was flown back to the United States, my friends rode their motorcycles to pay homage to his hometown, and we dedicated a nice rock from the Illinois motorcycle community. And that night is when they decided we were going to build our own wall memorial. We didn't want the Gold Star families to wait to build a wall memorial. So we spent the whole year getting this beautiful donated land, doing the research, and we built it with 5 panels from those killed in action from 1967 until the invasion. So every year on the 3rd Saturday of June, we have our Illinois Motorcycle Freedom Run, and we add the names to the wall of those that were killed in action from Memorial Day to Memorial Day. And sadly, this is our 21st year, and we have over 8,032 names. My friends Tony Catrano and Cooch, Jerry Casana, are the founders of this, and they created the Illinois Motorcycle Freedom Run, group of very patriotic followers.
Just do it! Just do it!
that helped spearhead this whole project. It's something that we work on year-round. We look for Gold Star families. We try to let people know that their loved ones are here, and then we plan this big motorcycle run.
A Gold Star parent is a regular person that has a loss that is deeply felt, and you know, their life changes forever. And all the what ifs, what could have been for the future, that's what you think about. It's not just a wall, it's community. Every parent that meets each other, they're like connected right away. They have something in common. It's a connection that they have, and it's about their children, and they have something that they experience that other people don't experience.
I mean, I'm not saying that there weren't mornings when I did not want to get out of bed. When I first found out, I didn't want to face the day, but eventually I realized, you know, and like 5 priests told me that Josh is in heaven because he gave his life for his brother. Josh was an exceptionally good student. And when he started senior year, he said, "Mom, I don't feel like I'm going to be ready for," he got an ROTC scholarship. He said, "I just don't think I'm going to be ready for that. I really want to go to a military academy my senior year." Well, he said, "We know a couple of people whose sons went to Missouri Military Academy. We'll call them and find out." Then we called the school and they said, "Oh, we don't start till after Labor Day, bring him down." And so they accepted him, and he went, and it was probably more strict than the actual Army was. But he just felt more prepared for. And he said, when he was a junior in high school, he said, "Mom, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but I'm willing to die for my country." He was very patriotic. Yeah. And I thought, oh, well, you know, that probably won't happen, but okay, Josh, you know. So that's the kind of person Josh was.
We raise a glass and say their names. People without a gold star don't want to say their names. They don't want to hurt us, and we're crying out, say their names.
That's right.
Say the name Daniel Weston Cornier. Say the name Isaac Torres. Say the name Joseph Anzac. And so many thousands of others. Because when you say their names, they live.
Our son Matthew, Corporal Matthew Alexander, killed 567 with 6 other Air Army guys out of a Stryker blown to pieces.
My son's name is Lance Corporal Jeffrey D. Walker from Macon, Georgia. He was killed Mother's Day, May 14, 2007.
My son, United States Army Corporal Michael Thompson, was killed on 18 September 2008, along with seven of his fellow military brothers in a Chinook helicopter crash.
Our son is Corporal Jagan Page from Omaha, Nebraska. Jagan was killed by a suicide bomber on August 26, 2021, along with 10 other Marines, a hospital corpsman, and an Army Ranger.
My son, Isaac Thomas Cortez, was killed in action on November 27 of 07. He always went by the motto, go big or go home. So his mom was always gonna go big.
My son was Sergeant Jason Walter Vaughn, and he was killed on 5/10/2007 in Bougainville.
My soldier's name is Daniel Weston Cornier. He was killed May 12th, 2007. He was part of the 431st Polar Bears, 10th Mountain, Fort Drum, New York.
Specialist Christopher Shane Wright. He died August 19, 2010. That's Afghanistan.
They signed up to do a duty, and whatever came of the duty is what they we're prepared for, nobody wants to go and die, but standing up for what you believe in is, and I'm gonna cry too, is the most important thing.
The part of our mission statement was we wanted to build a place to offer peace and comfort to our Gold Star family.
So my husband, Tony, they put like a headstone there, really. So I always, because he loved all the families, he'd hug and kiss them, and he really cared, and he loved their kids, and he felt he got something from them, the love from them too. When they put that there, I always tell them, I said, Tony's where he would want to be. He's here greeting you when you come to the wall, because that's what he would do if he was here. So that's how I look at it. So I'm like, he's here, and he's so happy that he gets to see everybody coming through here, because that's what he'd want to do. So, yeah, that's the kind of guy he was.
I can't imagine losing a child. Everybody needs to help those that do.
This generation already struggles with knowing what's going on in our society
the
right way.
American community on the whole needs to be educated to what we as Gold Stars represent. Because just because I'm a mom and I'm not active military or retired military doesn't mean I didn't serve. My father was military. I served during that time, giving up my daddy in a time of war. I willingly signed the paperwork and sent my son where he felt the need to go. I served. We sacrificed too, and the American people need to be educated that it's not just the military, it's not just the police, it's not just the first responder that serves.
It's the family.
But we as immediate family members serve in our sacrifice of our family member. And this is dedicated to each and every one that carries the burden that we do. We proudly stand for our family that served and have now died. Memories are all we have, a tear in every eye. They knew what they signed on to do. They answered duty's call. The honor of the uniform they fought for one and all. They served with pride and dignity. We knew a call could come. The heartbeat of the uniform, a different kind of drum. Memories are all we have of our angels in the sky. We honor service, life, and love for those that had to die.